Yes, good morning. Today, the another important application, MS Excel. The last three live classes I have taken for Rally Prime. Today, we are going to learn MS Excel. This is very important one for everyone today. So, in most of the places, the people are using MS Excel for their data processing work. Small data entry operator, manager, even company owners also using this Excel. The Excel is a powerful spreadsheet which can be used for multiple purpose. Actually, earlier the people they were using the MS Excel only for the simple calculation payroll process. Earlier, DOS-based spreadsheet model available that is called Lotus 123. So after Microsoft developed this application, this is very powerful one. So let me start simple things. How do we do the Excel? Excel, when you open Excel, MS Excel, it is totally different from other Microsoft product. So in Excel, you can see there is a row, there is a column. It is look like a table format. So table will be rows and column. Your data will be arranged in a table form. Today we are handling data. The data are very important to small business to big business. Everybody must have data. The data may help for the decision making process. So in Excel, you can do advanced analysis, which can be helpful for everybody. Everybody can use this Excel. So let me see. Let me explain how to do that. First of all, you should understand the workspace of the MS Excel. The MS Excel, you can arrange the data inside the table only. The data should be a table form. Other than that, you cannot do anything. So how do we do that table format? This is the table rows and this is the column. So suppose I'm going to start in sales data. So first I enter the date, description, amount. Okay. So I have entered this data into three columns. How do I navigate the column? You can move by arrow key or you can use tab key which can be moved forward. Okay. And if you want to come the next row, you can press enter button. You can come to the next row also. Okay. So that is your wish. You can come next row by pressing enter button. Okay. So the date actually in Excel you can type date directly. Suppose you are typing date today, 7/12/2025. You can enter the date directly here. It won't tell you anything. So when you select here, on the top of the toolbar, you see the format of the cell. You can enter any data, but MS Excel is automatically formatted to the respective format. So I'm using 365. If you're using something different version, some version may not convert automatically. So you have to convert. Okay. So this is Indian contact date. Okay. And I go to descriptions, your sales amount, bill number one, sales amount is 34,000. This is my day transaction bill number one, 34,000. I have entered. Similarly, you can enter the data like that. Okay. So you can arrange the data in a tabular form. That is the first thing in MS Excel. You must arrange your data in a tabular format. Okay. So once you arrange the data, then you go with the further analysis. Okay. So again, I tell you how to make the data. So the data you can enter in the small box. The box is called cell. The cell is nothing but intersection of rows and columns. Alright, and you can arrange the data in a column wise, row wise. You can arrange. After that, you handle. The beginning I have told you the Excel may have any input, but the input should be classified. Example, I enter 100, I enter the name Apple, then I enter the date already, then I enter the amount. Okay, so these all those are data, but each one has different format. So the first one is general type, the second one is text, okay, text type, the third one is date, and fourth one is number format or currency format. But except date, other format will not do automatically. So we need to change its format. Where do we get this format? I already told you there is a menu available, or else you press Control 1, numeric number 1. You may see the format cell. In format cell, you see the different formats available. Each format we are using for different purpose. For example, number is purely for the calculation. And currency, it is moreover number and currency both are same, but there is a prefix symbol in front of the currency. Suppose I say like that, you may see the click currency symbol, you may change the format. And accounting also the same method. And we go to the date already we discussed. We have fraction, scientific, text. There are many things are available in the format. In upcoming session, sometime you may change the format. Depends on your calculations. So, as a beginner in MS Excel, you must know how to handle the data and how to enter the data in MS Excel. That is very important thing. You should know. You keep in mind. So again, I tell you how to get it the format. You press Control 1. You see the format cell. You can see the different type of format. So these format can be used for your data calculation process that can be using which means depends on your data what you have in your Excel sheet. Okay. Okay. Now the next important thing, what is cell and how to handle this? Cell is the small box intersection of rows and columns so that can be used for accepting the data. In MS Excel, you see each cell may have a name. For example, here I select B4. This is the name of the cell. So which name you can change. If you want to change the name of the cell, you can change as that. You can change. That is your wish. If you change the name, what is the advantage? The advantage is you need not always use B4. You can use tags as the name of the cell. Okay. So the name you can change by selecting the cell and type the name like total. So whatever you like, you can enter here. Okay. So how do we use them? I will explain later how to use the name. So this name, you can manage it. How to manage the name? There is a shortcut key Control F3. So Control F3, you may get the name manager. So the name manager, nothing but what you have assigned already, the detail you can see. The name manager, anytime you can edit, anytime you can modify, anytime you can remove. So the name manager, you can assign for your work. For example, I'm going to do a simple calculation. Here I entered 100, 200, right? So I want to add these two numbers. In Excel, how to add these two numbers? You cannot directly use 100 plus 200. It won't take it as a calculation. Okay. So in front of this formula, we press F2, then we go to first line and put equal sign, then it became the formula. So you see the answer is 300. So what is the difference? The difference is the equal sign. When you put equal sign, then I say D4 plus E4, make it same answer. So you can use constant number as well as the reference also. So what is the advantage if you use a reference? Suppose I change the value here, the first formula will not change anything. Why? Because here I have used constant. The below I have used reference, which means reference is only referring the value, current value. Okay. So whatever the data available in the current time, it will take. That is why in Excel they're using always the references. So D4 and E4. Suppose that you move to the next sheet, a create new sheet. Shall I put the same thing, D4 plus E4? I may not get same answer. Why? Because in sheet 2, in D4, E4, nothing is there. So nothing is there, so you cannot get the answer. But if you change the name of the cell, this is, uh, I can say, uh, product 1. So if you already start, this is, I say, T, and this is, I say, radio. Okay. So now I go to this place, like TV plus radio. So we make it answer 1,000. How? Because this TV and radio is referred to the cell sheet 1, D4 and E4. So it is referring this two cells. That's why if I change the value here, that will be like here as well as here. So the name which you use it, the advantage is you can use across the workbook, which means you may have multiple sheets. In any sheets, you can use across this workbook, you can use this one. Not only here, even if you move to the next file also you can refer. So that is so powerful of the name. Okay. In most of the cases, we may use only the reference. In some cases, we may use the name. If we don't want to change the name or the reference, we can use the name. How to assign the name? It's very simple. You can select the cell, you press Control F3, Name Manager, and you can assign the name. For example, I have assigned the name for this cell radio and another cell for TV. That's what the sheet 2, you need not to mention anything, but it took automatically the respective radio and TV value. As a beginner, you must know how to name the range, which is a very powerful feature in MS Excel. In later example, you can see its power, why we are using name. So in Excel, how do we do the calculation? The calculation you cannot do directly. You always start with the equal sign, then you put TV plus radio, you make it answer. This is TV price and radio price, make it answer. So if you want to do any calculation, we always start with the equal sign. The equal sign is the important identification for formula. Okay. So without equal sign, if I put TV plus radio, nothing will come. So it won't take anything. So as a beginner, you should know how to use formula and how to use normal value. Okay. The formula always begin with equal sign. Without equal sign, it takes as a normal value. Okay. So we have a different type of formulas available in Excel. Most used formulas available here, and we have financial formula, logical formula, and date and time. There are many available. So it may use for different purpose. Okay. So as a beginner, you should clear on that. So what kind of data that you are going to handle. Okay. For example, I want to do a simple mark sheet process in MS Excel. I create a new sheet. Uh, I have a student numbers, register number, and I have a marks 1, marks 2, and marks 3. The register numbers are 1, 45, 67, 89, 2, 89, 87, 67, 3, 100, 23, 34. Okay. This is the mark sheet. So how do we do that calculation? You go to total. How to find the total? The total you can find very simply. I already told you how to do that formula in Excel. We always start with the equal sign. Then you can start with B2 plus C2 plus D2. Okay. So now what will you get? The answer is 201. Okay. So if you use this formula, you will get. So this formula we called as user defined formula. You define the formula. Suppose we want to apply to rest of the cells. You see there is a two different in the cursor. This is very thick cursor and this is very thin cursor. When you get thin cursor, you hold your mouse and drag down. So what is the magic you can see? So whatever the value entered in the previous, the same thing will come down, but we may get different answer because the reference is automatically changed. You did not change. The changes is take automatically B3, C3, D3. So it is called relative reference because I have entered B2 only here the first row, and after that what I did, I just drag by clicking this button, drag down. So you see the magic. The magic is the Excel is automatically incremented one row. Okay, so B2 became B3, C2 became C3, D2 became D3. So that is why we are using relative reference here. So you may get answer like this. So this one is the user defined formula. You can define the formula whatever you want. But sometimes you may also use the predefined formula. How to use predefined formula? So in Excel, if you want to get the total, you can use sum function. In sum function, you can say B2, comma, C2, comma, D2. You can write like that. If you put this D2, comma, C2, comma, D2, you may get the same answer. Okay, so there is no difference. But what is the advantage of this function is the functions you don't want to take all these values, just put V2 colon D2. So here we have only 3 marks. So there is no much difference. But if you have a 10 subject or 100 subject, we need not to mention each column. We just put the first column or the last column. You may get the answer like this. So the function is the predefined formula which is available. You just pass the few argument you want. Few arguments. You pass this few argument that will automatically take it into the account and you will get the answer. So if you have a multiple columns, you simplify by this function called sum. The sum is the predefined function which is mainly using for addition process. Okay, the addition process only we use. And next, I would like to find the average mark of the student. How to find the average? Average is a middle mark, middle point. Okay. So average mark, if you want to find user defined, you can say the total divided by number of subjects. You may get the average. But sometimes when I increase more subject, you may not get exactly accurate answer. But if we use this function, average function, so average, and you put the B2 colon D2, you may get same answer. But the magic you can see there is, okay, suppose I am inserting a new column here and this one as M4. I include a few more marks. You see the beauty, okay? So this row does not change because here I used user defined formula. The formula you cannot, it won't adjust automatically. But when you use references, some, like this colon, it will automatically change. That is the advantage of the functions. So you need not to bother about whatever you are inserting, it will automatically consider into the account. Okay. So any number of rows you can insert, any number of columns you can insert, the formula is automatically adjusted by the function itself because here I have used B2 colon D2. When I insert a new column, it automatically adjusts. But you can only insert between the column. You cannot insert F2. Okay. If you insert F2, it won't take. You insert only within the range B2 to E2. Wherever you want, you can insert the function. The formula is automatically, the reference will be adjusted. Okay. So I hope you understood how to get a total and how to get average. Okay. And I want to get highest mark of this class. How to get highest mark? For highest mark, we have to compare the total. Okay. So the total, you can select the whole thing and you name as a total marks. Okay. Now I want to find highest total. You can put max total marks. So you may get the total marks of the highest. So what is the advantage? I did not put any reference here, but for the reference, I have given the name called total mark. That's what I'm taking the maximum mark from the total marks. Similarly, I want to get minimum mark. You can put minimum of total marks. So anything you can get it. So you can get it minimum mark and you get it maximum mark from the total. Okay. So this is we can say the first rank and then you can say the last rank. Okay. Like similarly, you want to give the rank for the student also. You can use the rank and you can go to rank and you want to compare this and you want to give total mark and you see the descending order. So you may see the second rank. This person is second rank, the first person is second person is first rank, third person is the third rank. So the rank also you can find it. Okay, suppose I change the mark of this person, nothing will change. Suppose I change this mark of this person, so now he became the first mark. Okay, so that is the way you can get it. Actually, the total mark place I wrongly choose. I have to change this reference. Right. Go to name manager, total mark. Actually, this is total mark. Okay. So now here also you change. This is not F2. This is G2. Okay. You put undo. Okay. So you can get like that. So anytime you change the mark that will reflect immediately. So whoever getting the first mark, the name automatically come first, and you see the highest mark and lowest mark also. So so instead of using this reference, you can assign the name for your Excel. That is called name manager. You can assign that can be used for it. Okay. So today, so we have learned how to handle the data in MS Excel and how what are the types of data available in MS Excel and how to use user defined formula and how to use predefined functions and how to use name for the range. Okay, so these are all very powerful things you may explore your day-to-day process. And one more thing also I would like to say, suppose everybody likes this one, I want to make a plot for this. Plot means chart. Yes, that is possible. You can select the whole data and you just press F11. You may get this chart also. Sorry, I went wrongly. So I can select the chart. You want to chart, which chart or more chart. Okay, like the column chart, you click on that. So you may also create the charts of M1, M2, M3, M4 mark. So that chart you can move the chart to new sheet. You can also move to the new sheet also. So sheet 3 is the data available and chart 1 is your pictorial representation. Okay. So for anything, any data, you can make the chart. For total mark, you may use the F11 and you change the chart type here. To change the chart type as pie chart. So you may see like this one. So chart is another powerful tool available here in MS Excel. So the pictures may give more, insights instead of looking the numbers. Okay. So I hope you understood what is MS Excel, how to use it. So in MS Excel we have more advanced things available. So at least we need 4 hours to explain everything. Okay. Today, in this live class, I have explained the few things only. Next upcoming classes, you may get more advanced things, advanced process. How to use Excel for statistics, how to use Excel for accounting, how to use Excel for uh, as a business leader, how to use it, how this Excel can be used for data analysis, data mining, data warehousing, for everything. Everybody can use Excel. So most of you are using nowadays ERP, but the backend process, the people are using only MS Excel. It's a powerful tool, powerful spreadsheet which gives more value added things for you. And if you are the P65 user, there is a co-pilot available. That is also you may get some help. But before that, you must understand the simple concept of MS Excel, how to handle and all. Okay. So thank you for watching it. The next class we will go more detail in MS Excel. Thank you.